What is up, you lovely lot? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing episode 7 of this huge coin collection that I'm in the process of buying. And this is the last of this big box. We've got this small box, 2 pouches and a little bag. And then this whole big box that we were working on. I think there's 4 episodes, this box. It'll all be done. So let's do it. Let's get into it. We're going to try not to dilly-dally too much on each of the coins because it's quite a lot here to get through. But the first one we cannot breeze right past because look at it, absolutely stunning. Mounted so it can be worn as a necklace, I guess. But don't be confused by the 1780. This definitely wasn't struck in 1780. These Maria Thalers from Austria were struck from 1780 right up until the present day, still with exactly the same 1780 date on it. There are some varieties, so you can narrow down when it was minted, but it is still tricky. I've got as far as determining that this is one with the 131 tail feathers, which narrows it down a bit. It could be minted in Vienna, most likely, but they were minted all around the world with the same exact design. Birmingham, Brussels, Paris, Rome, among many, many other places. So it's a very, very interesting piece of coin history. And something definitely worth looking into. We won't go too deep into it today, but yeah, it's one of the key coins of history, I would say. Lovely, lovely stuff. In this mount, which is a little bit disappointing. I'm not sure how to get it out of here, to be honest, but we may have a go. We'll see, we'll see. It's a lovely thing, though. Okay, next up we have this, which again has me a bit stumped. Just because of the pure colour of it. It doesn't quite come across on camera as it does in hand, but it's really, really, really dark. And unfortunately, it's mounted as a brooch here, so lots of damage to the coin. 1892 crown, I think. Is it even legit? Why is it this colour? Is it treated with something because it's being worn as jewellery? Or have I been fooled? Is it not even a real Victoria crown? Let me know your input on that. 1892 is a fairly scarce date, so it's a bit of a shame it's got this brooch pin on the reverse here. But yeah, there's another interesting piece for sure. Let me know your thoughts on that. Thank you. And then another kind of mounted piece here. 1887, sorry, florin. And this has actually been mounted before as well. You can see the old stuff underneath. Just about make out Victoria through all of this wire work. But it seems to be stamped with HB. And I can't quite make out what it says on the other side there. But yeah, quite interesting again. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. And then we go to some slightly more bog standard recognisable stuff. Though then again, this is lovely. We have had a few of these already though from this collection. This one isn't the nicest of the ones we've had, so we'll be keeping one of the other ones. But it's a 1937 crown, coronation crown, 50% silver. And just the silver content's worth about £7.50 or so. Yep. We will move that along because we don't need to keep 3 or 4 of the same crowns. And these we see all the time, much more modern now. 1977 Silver Jubilee crown. We got tons and tons of those. And we got a fair few of these too. 3 of these here. 1953 Queen Elizabeth II coronation crowns as well. Again, we've already got one of those, so we will move those along. 1, 2, 3, but this one is pretty nice. The other 2 aren't so great, but lovely stuff. And then the final piece in this first box was this, which I thought was really interesting. And this side is lovely, but it's such a shame that this side is covered in all this green gunk. So it's 150 years of the County of Monroe. This side is pretty cool. High relief on some of this design here, really pops out. Yeah, shame about the other side, but we will keep it anyway. Okay, moving on. Pouch number 1. Let's tip this lot out. See where we are. There's some lovely, lovely coins here. Probably some of my favourites of the whole collection. Let's do it. First one is this absolute beauty. Now, the condition might not look the greatest, but for a coin minted in 1692, of course, this is Irish. See the harp there? And we have William and Mary on the obverse. Now, it's a halfpenny, Irish halfpenny. And as I said, the condition may not look that great, but this is a scarce coin, and this is easily, in this condition, a £100 coin. No doubt about that. 1692 Irish halfpenny. Lovely stuff. One of my favourite coins of the whole collection. Sticking with William and Mary though, not quite as scarce and a little bit rougher, we have a 1694. Can just about make out the date at the bottom there of Britannia. A 1694 halfpenny. And again, although it's a little bit beaten up, you're still looking around 20 or 30 pounds for this, I think. Nice coin, will be going into the collection. Did not have a William and Mary halfpenny before, so now we've got an Irish and a UK one, or an Irish and an English one. Okay, then we have a Condor token. Now I've got a little bit of a thing for these. We bought one recently at the London Coin Fair. This one is May Northampton Flourish on one side, and then on the other side we have Mr. George Jobson, banker, 1794. Of course, Condor tokens, another big part of coin history. Kind of tokens to be used locally, but then ended up being used right across the country. And this has a really interesting edge inscription. It's going to be a bit tricky to see, I think. It's really difficult to see, isn't it? But it does say, you'll have to trust me on this, it does say payable in Lancaster, London or Bristol. Yeah, these Condor tokens, very, very cool. Can't even find this one on Nemista, so must be a fairly scarce one. Lovely stuff. We'll have to get that added to Nemista ourselves. Of course, Nemista, great website for logging coins, but it is user built and user driven, so if you find something isn't on there, you can add it on. Right, what else? Something a bit more modern. And we have ourselves the United Nations single metal £2 coin in stunning condition. Absolute beauty. 1995, 50 years of the UN. Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse there. Lovely, lovely stuff. 6 million minted, or over 6 million minted, but in this condition, it's around a £10 coin. It's not a £10 coin, it's a £2 coin. But you know what I mean. Okay, let's keep it going. And we have some American silver. Bit of a mishmash this episode. We have a Franklin $half, 1963. Now this is new for the collection, I think. Yeah, 1963 with a D mint mark just above the bill there. So minted in Denver. And this is a coin I did not have. The 1963D, so that'll be going into the collection. 90% silver, 67 million minted, but lovely, lovely stuff. Then we have a couple of Kennedy halves, a 1964, which will be 90% silver, and a 1968, which will be just 50% silver. These, I've got both of these already, so we will move these along, but nice to find some American silver in there. And we've even got a little bit more. we have a couple of Morgan dollars. Now generally these were minted a lot earlier, but they came back and minted them again in 1921. And here we have 1921, two of them. One on the left, much nicer. And the one on the left, the one I didn't have, funnily enough. The D mint mark again, just below here. So this one on the right we've already got, the one on the left we haven't, so that's a result, because the one on the left, much nicer. Two Morgan dollars there. And then to kind of stick with the United States theme, we have this, which is a coin I didn't have already, so this is definitely going into the collection. 1907, with an S mint mark down there for San Francisco. Do you know what this is? It's a 1 peso from the Philippines. So this was when it was under US jurisdiction, I guess. And it's an 80% silver coin. Not one I had before. Just over 10 million minted. Lovely coin. Okay, let's keep cracking. We've got another one of these little pouches here. And in here we have a mix of a few Austro-Hungarian pieces. Should be one more, there we go. And a bit more British silver. So kicking us off on this little pouch, we have a 1912 2 krone from Austro-Hungarian Empire. Officially the currency of the empire from 1892 until the dissolution of the empire at the end of the First World War, when they were beaten in 1918. Again, fascinating history around that period of coinage. Could go on about it for a while, although a lot for me to learn still as well, but we haven't got all day to talk about that, unfortunately. But a 1912 2 kroner, lovely stuff. And we have two slightly older 1 kroner. You can see here Franz Joseph I with the wreath on his head. And then they changed the design of the 1 kroner. And there's 1915 and 1916. Quite a nice luster on the one on the right. The newer designs, they removed the wreath from his head. There we go, 5 lovely Austro-Hungarian coins going into the collection. Not something I had before at all, so very happy about that. We'll put those up there. And let's rattle through this UK stuff really quickly. We've got a 1945 florin. That's new for the collection, lovely stuff. We have a 1922 florin. This I've already got. Not the greatest example either. George V, bit worn out there on the obverse. Then we have a shilling, which is again a bit worn, 1922. But it's a date we don't have, so that'll be going into the collection until we find one better. Hopefully we will find one better, because that's not the greatest, is it? But we'll keep filling out these date runs. Then we have a few sixpence. Again, another which is pretty tough to see the date on. 1924 perhaps. And then 2 of this design, 1929 and 1928. And a slightly more modern one, 1942, a George VI one. And a couple of those are new, a couple of those we've already got, so I'll sort that out and put the good ones into our collection. We have also, finishing this little bag off, a little lone 1913 Threepenny bit. Now this we already have for the collection. There we go. Right, one more little bag and then this episode and this whole box is done, and it's time for me to move on to the next section and give the man some more money, in fact, because yeah, I need to give him some money. Right, Let's do it. We're going to step away from the UK briefly for a second here. We've got two lovely Australian florins, 1912, just after the beginning of George V's reign in 1910. And then 1936, right at the end of George V's reign. So a lovely couple of coins there, both new to the collection. The 1912 actually has a mintage of just 950,000, so that's a fairly scarce one. 2.3 million on the more recent one, but both lovely coins. Again, we're just going to rattle through this UK stuff. A 1946 half crown, a 1938 florin, or 2 shillings. This is one that we don't have, so that'll be going into the collection. Then we have a whole load of shillings here. Lots of English ones. Again, I've checked through these and a few of them are new for the collection. And then a Scottish one as well with the lion facing 1945. And again, that one is definitely new to the collection. Last couple of little bits. One extremely worn threepenny bit. Can't even tell what it is, so into the scrap pile that goes. It is a Queen Victoria one, but it's way too far gone, unfortunately. And then 3 more sixpence, and that's our lot. But what a little haul this has been. A few little surprises in there with some low mintage Australian florins. Love the Austro-Hungarian coins wherever they went up here. Lovely stuff. I think it's hard not to pick this as the favourite though. If you know any more information about trying to determine exactly when this was minted, do let me know. It is a really tricky subject, but one I'm going to look into a bit more as well myself. But let me know if you have a favourite. Again, let me know if you've got any info on this. Why is it so dark? It really is dark. It doesn't quite come across on camera. Maybe like that. Yeah, is it treated in some way? What's your thoughts on that? Right, drop us a thumbs up. I know this was a bit of a waffling one, but we got through a lot of cool coins there. In fact, scrap that. Why did I forget this? This is the absolute beauty of the day. 1692 Irish halfpenny. What a stunner. I'm off to get some coin flips and put these away nicely. Drop us a thumbs up, leave us a comment of course, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you soon for some more coiny goodness. Take care, all the best.